The Chimera ant chain of commands needs to be studied, and in this video we will do just that. We are going to learn what is happening with this graph, why the royal guards left the queen to die even though she is their mother technically, and we will learn what is Fagogenesis, the bizarre biology of the Chimera ants.
進む先勝っても負けても地獄だぞ
Bugs are interesting. Now I have to be honest, when I first started watching Hunter x Hunter, and I know I am not alone at this, I did not expect that the longest arc and the arc that will end up being my favorite is about ants that eats human. But yeah, that is basically Hunter x Hunter for you. First thing we need to talk about is their biology. Ants need a queen. Within an ant colony, there must be a queen, and in this context, the queen needs to eat a lot. Then the queen lays eggs. The organisms within those eggs contain the DNA of what the queen had been eating, and this process is called phagogenesis. And I gotta say, I just love the thought that there might be someone who came across this video and he think that we are actually talking about like some real science stuff. But no, this is not real science, okay? This science, phagogenesis, only works with fictional ants, alright? They come from the dark continent, okay? But now let's get back on track. Those genes that exist in the born ants are not transferable, meaning that the ant cannot reproduce. No, in the Chimera ant world, where the ants are like 2 meters high, and the real world actually, where the ants are like ants, very little, this is not a thing. They do not reproduce. And that's what you need to understand about bugs. Only the queen can lay eggs. And in those eggs, you have your soldier ants. And those soldier ants are born infertile. And the loyalty of whatever the queen lays belongs to the queen. Of course. They serve her. And this goes for real world ants and fictional ants. Now in the world of Hunter x Hunter, the more sophisticated the food that the queen eats, the more powerful the offspring will be. And then they will be promoted to a squadron leader instead of being a regular soldier ant. You can notice that most squadron leaders have multiple traits from multiple life forms. But look at the regular expandable soldier ants, especially the first generation, there is nothing special about them. They are just like a bigger version of a single thing. Oh, it's a spider, but it's a big spider. Soldier. Oh, it's a crab, but it's a big crab. Soldier. A pig, but a big pig. Also soldier. And obviously there might be some examples that do not follow this same rule, like Shito, for example, is just he's a big cheetah, a humanoid cheetah that walks into. Anyway, he shouldn't be a squadron leader. He sucks. Look at the other squadron leaders. You can see that there are multiple traits detected that gives them that speciality and obviously more intelligence and more power. And also we learned that the more time you spend in your cocoon, the more marinated you will be, you know? You're stuck in that cocoon with a soup of DNA that will then make you more powerful. Hence, a higher step of evolution of the Chimera ant hierarchy, the royal guards, born with the ability to use Nen from the get-go and being able to take out some of the most talented hunters in the world of Hunter x Hunter. You have Troupe. He's a mix between a human, a butterfly, an ant, and a fly. Yeah, really. I say fly because of his attack called Beelzebub, and Beelzebub basically means the lord of the flies, and flies are always associated with evil, death, bad things. So when you think about it, that devil version of Beelzebub is literally the lord of the flies, the thing that has a lot of bad connotations behind it. And that's why I think Poof has a little bit of a fly DNA in it. And now with Pitu. Pitu obviously has a DNA of a cat and a lot of young man fantasy. And yes, of course, a human, but most of the ants have human DNA within them. And you know, I'll have to say, like, Pitu is the exception of the rule here, but it's just a lot of cat DNA, big cat and small cats. The most unique of them all is Monteteupi, born from a mythical creature. Now, how did the queen get her hand on a mythical creature? we don't know. It wasn't shown in the series that the queen like stumbled upon a mythical creature, or some of her soldier was able to take down a mythical creature and bring it back to the Ant Queen. Maybe that happened off screen, or maybe she had some more DNA in her from the creatures back in the Dark Continent. Now wait, how can she do that? Well, because it's an ant queen. Are you ready? Let's learn some entomology. When a queen ant to become of age, she leaves her original colony. And by the way, what I'm talking about right now is real world science, okay? This is a real science, not fake Hunter x Hunter science. She flies away from the colony and spreads her pheromones all around. And then the dude ants come out. Not soldier ants, not builder ants, no. Male ants, their only purpose is to mate with the queen. And once they do that, once they mate, once they do the act, whatever you want to call it, the male ants usually die, and then the queen go on to find a new place and then start her own new colony. I know this sounds very, very familiar, because of course it is. It's like what happens in the real world with ants, but it is adapted into a fictional story. Once she is settled in the new place, then she starts laying eggs, lots and lots of eggs, but not necessarily all at once. And yes, a queen ant can store sperm within her. The same sperm from the dude ant that she mated with. It is stored in her body so she can fertilize the eggs that she lays. And that's why I think the same thing happened with Yuppie. Now we are back on the fake science, okay? I don't know, maybe the queen had some magical beast DNA within her back from the Dark Continent. However, let's now leave the royal guards and talk about the most special of them all. The one who took the longest and, of course, the one who became the king. A king ant does not really exist in the insect world. With bees, with wasps, with ants, the male's only job is to fertilize the queen. That's it. There is no such thing as a king ant. The focus of the colony is on the queen. That is the main difference here between real world science and Chimera ant science. When the ant king was born, he disturbed the hierarchy. First of all, he was born prematurely, which led to a severe injury on the queen. And after he was born, the royal guard shifted their allegiance from the queen to him. From this moment, the queen means nothing to them. That's very interesting, but that's an animalistic behavior. You know, you can see that with a lion pride, or you can see it with a wolf pack, but you do not see this type of behavior from the insect kingdom. With mammals in general, you can see this type of behavior of following like the alpha of the group. The alpha leader is the one that you follow behind. And maybe that was the evolution that the ants needed to truly take over the world with power. That's what happened. When the queen died, all of the squadron leader went to start their own kingdom, prioritizing power over the colony. And now, what is left of the ant colony? Nothing. And that is very, very real. When a queen dies, the colony does not survive. You see, with most living things in general, what is the most important thing? To reproduce, I guess. Yeah. However, with ants and with a lot of insects, the most important thing is to protect the hive, to protect the colony. When the queen falls, everyone rushes to help her, to save her, or to try and find another queen to replace her. If that does not happen, it's over. So yeah, in the Hunter x Hunter world, the hierarchy broke, and there was only one on top of that food chain. Chimera, the ant king, until the palace invasion happens, and that's a story for another day. We'll analyze that on another day. Definitely a merger between real world ant science and fictional Hunter x Hunter science. The Chimera ants wanted to evolve, however, they did not evolve with the hive mind. No, they wanted to evolve with the animalistic mind, because the goal of the queen in Hunter x Hunter is to have more kings and more kings, and this is extremely destructive, and of course they were not successful at that. The only success that happened led to the fall of the entire colony. And when the ants tried to evolve on their own and start their own colonies with power and not with the focus on the colony, it all failed. More and more can be said about the strange hierarchy of the ants and a lot of politics that happens in the world of Hunter x Hunter. We will cover all of that and more in future videos. So please, if you are interested in Hunter x Hunter content, make sure you subscribe to the Hunter Society and you can watch this video. Thank you so much and have a good day.